Hello guys, thank you so much for joining us today as Above So Below. This is Satyrian Energy. Thank you so much to each and every one of you guys that have been a part of our lives and our streaming, and those that have joined my YouTube family, and those that are just participating in what we call real magic, real spirituality. If this is your first time in my live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. The ATRs are the African traditional sciences by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. I'm excited because of the simple fact that many people are returning back to their roots. And what's up, my Monique Collins in the house? I would like to say Monique 444 on my YouTube page, but that's crab cakes. But I want to say to each and every one of you guys, as you're chiming in and you're being notified that Chief Apostle E is live, one of the things that I try to reiterate that I'm a Sagittarius, my moon is in Aries, and my rising sign is Pisces. What that should mean to you, sir and ma'am, is that Sagittarians deal with the truth and philosophy of wisdom. Also, Aries allows me to have very a lot of energy, also very passionate, and also very warlike. Also, my rising sign being Pisces. Those that understand Piscean energy, unconditional love, my thought process of I belief system is very important to all Pisceans. And so therefore, when I understand my energetic makeup, when I practice my ATRs, I'm able to efficiently be able to function in this society of energy. I want to say to each and every one of you guys, thank you so much for allowing me to share sober-minded thoughts when it comes down to magic and how it applies in everyday life. I do realize that there are many people out here, and we are all professing that we have this spiritual connection and that we are with the Eguns and the ancestors, and so therefore a lot of times I try to get above the ray of people dispersing their information. So I want to say hello to Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Hello to each and every one of you guys. One of the things that I have been blessed with, and I say oftentimes, I am crowned Mafedifun Oya and Mafedifun Bablo Aye, and I am a pastor of a local church. And what I do is I share information to grown people. I don't do cheering church even in my own church because people have to raise their own kids the way they see fit. What's up, my kingmaker? One of the things that I am doing for melanated people in this season is to give them as much truth as I can without disclosing the mysteries of the ATRs, and giving you an opportunity, sir and ma'am, if you so choose, to create a reality that you will be comfortable living in and having the necessary tools to protect yourself. And when I say protect yourself, that's abiding in the truth. I do realize that people protect themselves telling lies, but that is not what I teach, and that's not what I endeavor to do. I give transparency for you to understand that, so you can see some of the behind the processes of information. I want to talk about something today that if you grew up in a church, you've heard this, but it doesn't matter if you're in a church, whether you're in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, it still applies. And my subject today is Saturday, and Satyrian is about structure. It's about punctuality. And it says, why were you listening? Why were you listening? And I want to talk about my success rate when it comes down to manifestation. And I want you to give yourself an opportunity to actually have an ear to hear. The Bible said that my sheep know my voice, and a stranger they will not follow. So I wrote down on here, you know your mother's voice, you know your father's voice. And when it comes down to magic, and I want you to understand something. If you were listening to your Eguns, you wouldn't be where you are. I'm going to say that again. No amount of fuss, no amount of information or disinformation, if you are being led by the Spirit, you know the voice of God. Those are the facts. Those are the truth. If you are listening to the voice that had your best interest, you would always find yourself in the right place at the right time, and you would be punctual. You would not be out here saying he may not come when you want it, but he always on time. No, what really happened is you realized that you were not on time, and you got in synchronicity, because that's what we call the law of synchronicity. That means that you are in your energetic time loop, you in your due season, and these things are important, sir, Man, when it comes down to spirituality, there are so many people saying that God is speaking. There are so many people saying the Orishas are speaking, the Loas are speaking, the Nkisi are speaking. My question to you is, why are you where you are if that is the voice that you were listening to? Why were you listening to other people? Other voices. The Bible says there are many voices in the earth. I don't care whether you got a good relationship or a bad relationship, you know your mother's voice. I don't care if you have a good relationship or a bad relationship, you know your father's voice. So my thing to many people, no matter where you are in the ATRs, when it comes down to true spirituality, and you want so many people to believe that you are listening to God and you're following God. The Bible says that when the prodigal son was on his way back to the father's house, the Bible said that the father recognized the son afar off. I'm going to say that again. Why is it that the shepherd recognizes the sheep, but the sheep don't recognize the shepherd? Why is it that the teacher recognizes the student, but the student don't recognize the teacher? Why is it that the disciple does not recognize the master, but the master recognizes the disciple? Why is the person that is on the receiving end not aware that they should be listening to that voice and not that voice? You're in Ifa, but you say you listen to the voice of Loa. You say that you're in Palo, but you're listening to the voice of Kabbalah. You say that you're in Christianity, but you're Sir, man, voices speak based off of what tradition they are in. I'm going to say this again. I am a pastor that practices the ATRs and black arts. And this is for people that do not want to lead the church, that want to practice their ATRs and be confident. Thank you so much for the gift. And be confident in their magic in the church world. And find a ministry that they can operate in their spirituality without being judged and without being demonized. This is also for those that have left the church but got church influence. I want to talk to you today. What's up, BDC Young? I will see you a little later on, sweetheart, in Miami. Because when I get off the line, I'm going to Miami. If you're in the Miami area, a lot of the products I get, Minister Mario, I went through her. Mesa, she's been fabulous with me and making sure that I have the things that, so I can represent the tradition. Having a voice is one thing, but knowing who listens to that voice. I understand that everybody is not out here trying to represent spirituality. I realize that everybody out here is not trying to be more than a conqueror. I understand that everybody's not out here to learn real magic. I get that. And I know why you can, the Bible said that a stranger you will not follow. I know that what I say with my voice sounds strange to those people that still believe in this day and age that you're going to ask the divine ancestors, the Eguns, to give you strength to climb the mountain. I'm here to speak to those that want the power and live the power of speaking to the mountain and the mountain be removed. I'm not here for those that are still believing in sowing sparingly, but desiring to reap abundantly. I'm here for those that understand in order to walk in that energy, whether I'm in Ifa, whether I'm in Voodoo, whether I'm Santeria, Lakumi, Kabbalah, whether I'm an atheist. If I associate myself with people that sow sparingly, then I'm going to be affected by that energy. I'm going to be affected by that frequency and vibration. I am not trying to be a crab in the bucket. I'm looking for a crab boil with some potatoes, some corn, and some sausage in it, but I'm not interested in the mindset or the reality of crabs in a bucket. These mindsets determine who you listen to. And all of us blaming people, places, and things for what you listen to and what you find yourself following has a lot to do with you rather than them. Because if you know your father's voice, in Ocha, my father is Babalu Aye. My mother is Oya. My biological mother is still living. I know her voice. It's not the bonnet. Warren. What's more funny, Warren and you better be glad we on TikTok, because I would really roast you. Because I'm a sage. You talking about the bunny. And this is what I mean by it, y'all. That's like going in a Chinese restaurant and laughing at chopsticks. I want to break down the level of ignorance. When you walk into an environment and you're not considering the environment, and you find it funny, and you begin to mislabel. Well, where are the silverware? We're in a Chinese restaurant. We're in a tofu restaurant. Your lack of awareness, and in social media, nobody's checking these people. If you find yourself in a psychic bookstore, you shouldn't be shocked that there's psychic books on the bookshelf. If you find yourself in a sex store, you shouldn't be shocked that there's sexual items on the shelf. If you find yourself in a grocery store, you shouldn't be shocked that there's groceries on the grocery shelf. The mere fact that we're living in a society that we go on social media, and depending on the content creator, we feel like certain things need to be warranted said. Do not display your ignorance willfully. And this is what I've said over and over. If people were truly trying to learn what real conjure is, what real spirituality is, then a lot of stuff that would be said would not be said. A lot of things are being done wouldn't be done. And as simplified as I make it, I'm just proving a point. You're not listening to the voice of God if you say you claim yourself to be a Christian. You're not listening to your ego, because your ancestors would not have you down the paths that you're in. You're not listening to the Loas, because they would not be out here misrepresenting themselves. You're not listening to the Orishas. Thank you, Double Terry. Baby, it's all right, because when I get on my lives, I'm here to only resonate. Let me tell y'all something. I want y'all, especially if you're moderators on my live, I am not you. I'm going to say this again. My lives, I don't mind being challenged. I don't mind people speaking their perceptive of truth. I'm not shaken, because when I get off this live, I'm a six-figure man. I live my reality. These people get offline, they got to go and have a conversation with their sister about taking her car last night. You understand? I get all of that, because when you out here in the wild, wild web of social media, everything comes and goes. And I realize when I dress a certain type of way, I am going to deter people. I understand that when I talk a certain type of way, I am going to deter people. I understand that. I'm not here for those people. I'm here for people that are looking for truth. And I said this over and over again, that nobody is listening. People are not into magic or trying to do spirituality in these ATR for real magic, because they're not here to learn. They're not here to sit down as a student and sit in a classroom. When you send your child to go to school to get an education, you're not expecting them to return in an hour. Are you understanding me? The person that sits there and thinks that they're going to learn something, they're going to get something out of somebody watching somebody for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and now all of a sudden you're an expert when it comes down to conjure, when it comes down to cleansing, when it comes down to breaking curses, when it comes down to prosperity spells. It's an ignorance in itself. I'd rather have one person that is actually here to learn, to have all these. Let me tell y'all something. I love the fact that we came together with Kamala Harris. But I also know my people are with the shenanigans. We like fussing, we like drama, we like skits. The truth is, this takes work. My mom used to say, my mom's a Virgo. My mom used to tell me and my sister this all the time. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. What's up, Aries? I'm going to say it again. If it was easy to be an Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, and actually operating in the magical concepts of those traditions, every last person would be doing it. The reason why everybody's not doing it and everybody's doing what is easy and convenient, that's why that people are out here doing what they're doing, because if they were really trying to learn real magic, their money would be where their mouth is. Anybody that's going to college is looking for funding. Anybody wants to become a doctor is looking for funding, whether it comes from family, whether it comes to the government or federal government, where they understand the fact that they desire to become a doctor or a lawyer of that nature, that there must be funding in order. Anybody that's truly trying to be in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lacuna, there must take funding. Any man or woman wants to be in a relationship, understand there must be funding. There are certain things that you should not be discussing with a grown man or woman. And there are certain questions that needs to be asked when it comes down to real magic, real spirituality. The fact that you don't understand that just because you pay for a class doesn't mean that you pass that class. That means that you have to also get the material for that class. That means that you have to actually study the material and the criteria of that class and actually pass those tests before you can actually say you graduated from that class. Not graduated for the degree, graduated from that class and move on to the next class. This is a process. And I've been doing this since I was a child. I am 51 years of age. I ought to know what I'm talking about. I have a higher success rate than most people. And I understand that you call encouragement is making you feel comfortable about the lies you tell yourself. I understand that you want me to make you feel comfortable about you allowing people that should have never gotten the victory over you. A lot of you guys think that you're in the war. If we listen to you, we would think you in the ring with Barack Obama or Johnny Cochran. But when we find out and we do spiritual diagnosis, you in the ring with Tyrone that got a 3rd grade education. You'll let somebody that has not arrived, even graduated from high school, tear your life up. You act like they the Tasmanian devil, all because that you are operating in perimeters outside of the voice of God, outside of the voice of your ancestors. How many of us would not be where we are right now? We would not be losing certain battles right now if we had listened to the shepherds that God had assigned to us. We had listened to the elders and the leaders that were assigned to us. Because the people that are going to help you, you're not going to always like. You're not going to always be in agreement with. My sheep know my voice, and a stranger they will not follow. I don't mind you being hard on me if it's going to make me be able to endure hardness as a good soldier. I don't mind you challenging my intellect, that you're going to teach me how to cast those imaginations down and make sure that I'm abiding in the knowledge of God. I don't have a problem with you telling me that can I pray with you 1 hour when I know that prayer I need to be praying without ceasing. See, none of this stuff matters, and I say this over and again to melanated people until it matters. Getting prepared for what is coming down the pipeline is the most important thing that I have to offer melanated people. Listen at these other people, but when the time comes, what they have to offer you are not going to meet the occasion. The Bible talks about the fires. That every man works are going to be tried by fire. We're going to find out in a little while who really knew what they were talking about. Who conjured was really conjured. Who voodoo was really voodoo. Who a relationship. Because guess what? Every man's work got to be tried as fire. I love my background, but my background don't give me victory. The work that I do give me victory. I love the aesthetics that I come on my social media platform with, but at the end of the day, it's not my aesthetics that destroys your yoke. You understand? This is what y'all got to be. The Bible says, broad is the way for destruction. Doesn't mean that people that have a big following. Kamala had a big crowd, bigger crowd than Trump, but them votes did not add up. When God is enlarging your territory, make sure you have the measure of gift, talent, and ability to cover. All right there. Thank you so very much. Make sure that you have the measure of gift and ability to cover your area. Make sure that when it comes down to it, that you're not just saying amen, but you're actually walking in that energy. You're actually walking in that truth. That you're actually abiding in those things so you can ask what you will. Because what I ask for may not be what you have need of. But what you ask for is for you and your household. Oh, I'm loving this. I love that right there. Let me tell y'all something. At the end of the day, why were you listening? I like that. I grew up in the legal field. I grew around people constantly going out of. I ask pointed questions. I don't give people wiggle room. I ask a pointed question. Why were you listening? That's my sheep know my voice. You being able to tell me what they said means that you were listening. So let's break this down. Listen means to give one's attention to a sound. So that means they didn't take your attention. You gave them your attention. I want melody, black men and black women. Nobody made you listen. You gave your attention to that foolishness willingly. Can we start with that truth? Nobody made you listen to the gossip. Nobody made you listen to the lies. Nobody made you listen to the conspiracy theory. Why would I, if I'm abiding the truth, why would I sit there and want to listen at you tell me anything about why you did what you did? Your actions speak louder than your words. You don't want to admit that you willingly gave ear to people in their shenanigans. And you wasted your time that you keep telling everybody that's valuable and precious. And nothing that they're saying is going to change the reality about what you are living in. Do you want mean that going to lay you down in green pastures? Because the average people that y'all claim to be mean are the people that are telling you the truth. I'm going to say this again. This is why I'm not wearing the defeat that a lot of people are wearing. In spite of my numbers, I am more successful. You got 100 people listening to you, but you ain't made it but $100. I got 2 or 3 people listening to me, and I made 3,000 and 4,000. Do you think I'm worried? Because my sheep, my quality people, know my voice. And a stranger, they're not interested in not only listening, but even following. You don't want to admit that you're listening to all these voices that you should not be listening to. And you got information in your mind. You got thoughts in your mind that you should not even be processing. You're wasting time when you're processing information that does not serve your pathway. I would not be in these ATRs if it was not a part of my destiny. What would be the point of me knowing voodoo when I'm not going to practice voodoo? What would be the point of me knowing Kabbalah when I would not be practicing Kabbalah? What would be the point of me in Palo if I wasn't going to practice? And that, when I say practice, I mean benefit. There's no point. You got all this information that is bogging your mind down that you're not even going to be utilizing because it's not relevant to your life. Thank you so much. Y'all is showing out here. So that now that we know that when you listen, that you give your attention to somebody. Then the definition of attention means to notice taking of someone or something, that regarding of someone or something as interesting or important. You made that voice more important than the voice of your shepherd. You made that voice more interesting than the voice of your shepherd. And now you're trying to realize how you going through these different things in your life because of what you listening to. When I have facts in front of me, y'all, I ain't telling nobody what to do. Everybody grown. When I have facts in front of me, I'm telling y'all, I don't be listening to nobody what they be saying. Because what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to change these facts. And facts are a stubborn thing. When I do magic, that's why I seek for the truth. I want the facts. Because that is going to base on what I have to do in order to manifest. I am a proactive person. I'm not going to wait till all this stuff come down the pipeline. Thank you. Well, all right, boom. I'm not going to wait till all this stuff come down the pipeline. And then try to react to it. There's a thing that we have learned in my family, and this is something you learn in business. You get ahead of stuff. I have membership for all of you all that do not have the monies to initiate and learn and excel in these ATRs. That I am giving you an opportunity, a non-initiate, to have access to certain workings that you would not have access to outside of initiation. That is not for me, sir. That is not for me, ma'am. That is for you. Because what melanated people won't be able to say is that I took this defeat because I did not have this. I did not have that. I didn't have anybody to guide me. Though, when this all goes down, you will not be able to, because I'm not going to be the only one. There are going to be people out here that has the answer for the madness. They have the antidote. You need to find the shepherd. You need to find the elder. You need to find the person. All right, now, love you back. These I call these burgundy lips. These are burgundy lips. All right, there. So, you know your father's voice. Then why you listening to your cousin? Why you listening to your sister? You know your mother's voice? Then why you coming around here telling us about what your auntie had to say? Or what your uncle had to say? Oh, I'm trying to break it down because I want us to get past the foolishness. Because the real problem is that you listening to things that you shouldn't be listening to. You're giving ear to things you shouldn't be giving ear to. And this has nothing to do with getting into an echo chamber. This has to do with your ancestors know what's best for you. End of story. Thank you so much. Your egos, your spirits. And the truth is that you don't trust them. You don't trust the voice that is speaking to you. And therefore you don't abide in the instructions that they give. That is not my fault. That's not a Tata or Hugon or apostle or pastor. You got too many voices in your ear. But you claim to know who your God is. And that's why I tell people, I'm not judging you. What I'm trying to do is present a case to you that because I know that you claim that Yahshua is your God. Yahshua wouldn't have told you that. The fact that you claim that Obatala is speaking to you, I know enough about Obatala. Obatala wouldn't have told you that. I know enough about Oshun that I know that Oshun's voice, no matter who read those shells, that is not what Oshun would have told you. Just like I understand, if I know your parents, and if I know who your mama is, and I know who your dad is, I know they ain't tell you that. That's how important to know the voice of the spirits that you are following. And when I get into a situation or circumstance and I don't know whether to turn left or right, I trust the voice that has guided me throughout. I remember I got into my pastor, and she told me this. She said, she told me this. She said, well, why did you do that? I said, because the Spirit of God told me that. And she said, your spirit is confused. This is what she told me to my face, not behind my back. I said, I have trusted this spirit since I was a child. And it has not led me wrong. This is the same spirit that led me to your church. This is the same spirit that led me to give you $1,500 in your offering. This is the same spirit that led me to marry your daughter. This is the same spirit that led me to prophesy the things that I did that now we see in fruition. But all of a sudden, because you're not in agreement with what I'm saying at this point, I'm still going to trust this spirit. I got more evidence with this voice than listening to you. And the reason why I'm submitting myself under this ministry is because of that same voice. And me and her got into it to a point where I left the church, and that voice told me, you did not finish your work, go back to that church. I humbled myself. She said, why did you come back? I said, that same voice. My work is not done here. My tolerations is done. My patience is done here. But my work is not done. And I cannot move forward until I fulfill that. See, that's how we're going to know whether you're being led by the voice of God. We're going to know you being led by Egun. We're going to know whether the ancestor, because when we look back on your life, it's going to line up. When things ain't lining up, we know you weren't listening. You cannot fool nobody that's really looking for the truth. You can fool anybody that's looking for a lie. You can fool anybody that's looking for something for nothing. You can fool anybody that think, come on here somebody. Why would I listen to my auntie when I'm up on the rules and regulations of my mother's house? My auntie could be telling me some truth. But I'm abiding up under the rules and regulations of my mother. And guess what's going to be? Gonna go. My mother's rules. You trying to listen at a Tata, a Mumble, or Hugon, but you in somebody else's house. I don't understand why you don't see the conflict. Because how I speak in my house and why I speak the way in my house, those rules are enforced in my house. You can't go with my teaching to somebody else's house and say, Apostle Ely, do it like this. Because this ain't Apostle Ely's house. I didn't go to my Padrino's house on his Elay and tell him about what my spiritual dad told me when I was 13. Because when I was listening to my spiritual dad, I was in his house. I was up under his tutelage. And he was not teaching me Orisha faith. You understand? He was teaching me voodoo. Haitian voodoo in particular. He said he is correct. The voice will let you know when it's time to go. It'll close the door and another one open. And it's just that simple. But when you out there doing you, that's why a lot of things are not accounted for. When you all in your feelings, that's why things are not accounted for. One thing I won't let nobody do, because spirituality is very complex science, but what I won't let nobody do that don't know what they're talking about, I won't give you an ear. I won't let you try to confuse me. I know by the time you talk, you'll know what you're talking about. Because anybody that's an expert in their field, they can break it down to the lowest common denominator. The mere fact that you are looking for somebody to inspire you in a situation based off of the choices that you have made. I done went through all these spiritual initiation and I still got 3 baby mamas. I'm going to say it again. I done got elevated, I done got transformed, I done got cauldrons, I done got Orishas, and I still got 3 baby mamas. I don't know why you feel that the action that you done sown, you ain't gonna reap. There's some reality that ain't gonna change no matter if I become a billionaire tomorrow, I still a billionaire with 3 baby mamas. There's certain things, if you don't want to live in your reality and you don't want to care in your future, then you shouldn't be doing it, sir. You shouldn't be doing it, ma'am. And it don't matter if you're an Ifá, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, Christian, atheist. I can tell. And my question to people, why were you listening in the first place? You the main one said they was a liar. Why were you listening? You the main one said they weren't real. Why were you listening? You the main one said they were demonic. Why were you listening? Some of y'all not asking the right question. You can't do right by you because you trying to pay too many people to do a job for you you ain't willing to do for yourself. You can pay the trainer. You can pay the facility for you and the trainer to operate in it. But you still got to do the work. Who told you that spirituality was mean that you can You can avert the work by buying a trainer, which may be a Tata, a Mumbo, or Hugon, or whomever, to train you in spirituality. But you still got to have the goods. How am I train you to run? You ain't got the natural talent to run. You got to first have the gift. You must first have the talent. And then willing to discipline yourself. This is why I can say honestly and from my heart, you're not looking for real magic. This is a lifestyle. This is whether everything working out the way I wanted to, or this everything ain't working out nothing like I wanted to. And I'm going to still get up and do what I need to do. Because I'm committed. And these are the lives that I prove. And I want y'all to look around. That people not trying to hear all that. Because the truth sounds negative when you live in a lie. I'm going to say it again. If y'all don't mind typing that. The truth sounds negative when you live in a lie. If y'all don't mind typing that in. Because that needs to go out through the internet. People will perceive you as being negative when you telling the truth. Because they live in a lie. People say you making me feel some type of way. Because I'm telling the truth. No, your lie is being challenged. That glass house you were living in, that you constructed with all those lies, now that it's being tested and proven by truth, it ain't standing. These are facts. They're not going to change it because I'm Chief Apostle Ely, and whether I tell them today or tell them tomorrow, the reality of it, it remains the same. Thank you so much, HB Town. The truth sounds negative when you live in a lie. I'm giving us the opportunity to type it in. Because it says something. If you were living in your truth, you would not be experiencing the disappointments that you were living in. If you were accepting people for who they really were, you would not be where you are. Because you would know how far to go with that man or that woman. How I'm going to let a wolf convince me that they are sheep when you sound, because I'm listening. Everything come out your mouth sound wolf-like to me. So I don't care how you dress yourself up. Ooh. The beginning of magic is frequency, sound, and vibration. How you don't know the sound of your mother's voice? How you don't know the sound, the tone, the frequency of your father's voice? But you want me to believe that that person that's a snake, that's hissing, that you don't know the sound of a snake. No matter how that snake presents itself. Huh? Every creature on this planet has a sound. And if you were listening, I was in the graveyard and I was looking around because I heard the sound of an owl. I didn't see it at that point. I kept looking around because I knew the sound of an owl. You understand? See, you don't have to know that somebody who was approaching you, but when you hear the sound of the footsteps, I might not know the actual direction, but I hear the sound. I'm listening. He that hath an ear, let him hear. The fact that you want me to believe that out of all the hissing, all of the hissing of those lips, you did not know that was a snake. This is why the Bible said, have ears but hear not, have eyes but see not. Truth is standing right in front of you, and it's invisible. But you can see a lie from across the street. Because that's what you're looking for. Whatever you give your attention to, that's what you resonate with, that's what you're able to see. I gave simple instructions. I said, everybody that will put the truth sounds negative when you live in a lie. Let me explain something, y'all. When you put a lot of energy in to building a lie around yourself, it's hard to watch it crumble and fall. I'll give you that. But the Bible says if you suffer loss, is because what you were building with wasn't real. But if you were building with real stuff and your real truth and real reality, you would have, I don't care, through a Trump presidency, through racism, through whatever's going on in this country, you still would have substance to show for, because what you believe in, what you're doing, is real. And whatever fires that people try to set on your life, you will still have a remains when it's all said and done. Because what you got is real. You don't want what you've been talking about and saying about all these years to be tested. And it's about to be tested. It's in some cases, it's already being tested. And it's already shaking and it's already crumbling. Let me tell you something. You take your resources and you're making decisions and you're scattering your resources and you wonder why you can't achieve certain things, because the Eguns know you're not listening to them. Your ancestors know you're not listening to them. Because there's proof in the pudding, certain man. Ask anybody in my church. I don't listen to them people. When you can't find your way out of a wet paper bag that's already bust open at the bottom, I'm not listening to you. When you can't tell the truth to yourself on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I'm not listening to you. When you get mad about reality, when you get mad about consequences, I already know you're not here for life. You're here for the shenanigans. And it's okay. But when I say that you're not here for real spirituality, all I'm saying is don't get mad with me. I'm a Sag. You have the right to have whatever type of relationship you want in your life. But you also don't have the right to say you don't deserve what you get because of the seeds that you sown. You're not looking for a strong man. Because when you find a strong man, you call him male chauvinist. Because your real definition of a man is something you can manipulate. Something you can usurp your authority over. Somebody that needs validation constantly about his manhood. That's what you call a man. But when you get in trouble, you don't look to him because you already know that he is not capable of standing up for you, because he's not capable of standing up against you. A man that cannot defend himself with his woman cannot defend his woman against her enemies. A man that can be manipulated by the lies of his woman can be deceived by their enemies. If you don't have the critical thinking to see through the lies of your wife or your spouse or whoever you're with, how are you going to be able to read the energy of an enemy that may be trying to take over what we got? This is why people like me have to shine such a big light, because you can't see. We have to present evidence over evidence over evidence over evidence for you to get an inkling of idea of what's really going on. Being smart is not a blessing to you. Being able to have critical thinking is not a blessing to you. Being able to set boundaries and reinforce those boundaries, you don't call that a blessing. Anybody ever seen the movie The Django? Anybody ever seen that movie? And when that black man was on that horse with that white man and riding through those cities, it was more black people that had a problem with that black man being on that horse than them white people. Listen to wisdom. If you're going to be out here advocating for black people, melanated people, still know how to deal wisely. Because black people will turn on you when they think you have too much influence, power, and you have the ear of the people. And they will try to undermine you. Have some wisdom. Know the sound of a hater when they speak. Smothered with compliments. Because everybody that's clapping for you, not clapping for you. Everybody that's praising you, really not praising you. They don't want to appear obvious. So they're going along with the crowd. But they themselves are not applauding you. And you need to know the sound of that clap. Nothing but wisdom here, baby. I've been doing this a long time. And I will outlast all of the phonies. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here blessed, good looking, and delicious. If you are out here trying to learn real magic, my question still stands. Why were you listening? Why were you listening in the first place? Why did you give your attention to them in the first place? Yes, we are here mocking the Muslim, but why did we believe in them in the first place? Black people want to believe so bad that other people are down with our cause. These people have never, I remember my son, my other son, he's a Cancer. And he told me this thing. He said, my youngest son, he waited till I paid for his graduation, paid for everything. And then he decided for me, now he didn't want me to come. He wanted his mom and his grandma to come because you had to have tickets to go in. But he waited till after I paid for everything to come to that conclusion. So my eldest son asked me, he said, Dad, why did you think it wasn't going to turn out that way? I said, he said, what did he do differently than he been doing to make you think that he was going to do something different than what he just did? I said, he didn't do anything different. I was just hoping. He said, I can respect that. The mere fact that none of these people of any of these other ethnic groups have ever gave you evidence that they were on your side, and I get the fact if the fact was that you were hoping, but I hope that in that hope that you understand that they have never given you the evidence that they were on your side. That person you call friend has never gave you the evidence that they were a friend. Somebody agreeing with you don't make them your friend. The Bible says it's better the wound from a friend than the kiss of an enemy. I don't know what Bible y'all be listening to, but people that's your friend will stand against you. People that's your friend will tell you about your butt naked behind. People that's your, all these people that just amen and that's not your friend. That's an opportunist. See, you got them in the wrong, you got on the wrong shelf. You got the wrong label on them. You don't label sugar, salt, and salt sugar, and you wonder why you where you at. You as a wise man and wise woman, you don't get to mislabel things. You have to call things for what they are. And so therefore you can maneuver with it. See, what we're doing now is that we recognize after the fact that you are not our friend. Now we are moving accordingly when we should have been moving accordingly before the election. And do what the Republican Party did with the Latino and the rest of these people. Utilize them while they were being utilized to get to our agenda. Because I know you ain't my friend. I know you ain't on my side. But I can work you. I can get you to do what I need you to do because I know you ain't here for me. And once I get there, it's not a switch out. It's making a stand. I go to cutting what I knew was the truth all the time. Huh? I want us to go from being reactive people to proactive people. And know what you're listening to. When I hear the sound of a horse, you're not going to tell me it's a pig. I'm sorry, y'all. That's what my lives are about. You're not going to tell me something other than what I'm watching. That's why God gave me my 5 senses so I can determine and process real information. So when I do my magic, I know where to protect myself from. This is why I've been telling people, I have this thing and I say, I suffer no loss because of racism. I'm not here to argue about whether you're racist. I'm going to put my magic in the atmosphere, in the ether, that I will not suffer loss because of racism. Who it falls on, it can fall on mama, daddy. Hell, I got my dog in there. It can fall on him. As long as I'm not suffering loss because of the racism, whether you acknowledge your racism or not, I don't care. Whether I do hoodoo, however I manifest that, the purpose of me doing magic is to make sure that I am not being affected by your racism. I don't care where it comes from. I can care if you acknowledge it or don't acknowledge it. That's irrelevant to me. As long as I can get what God got for me and not be, my success not be impeded because of your ideas and your behavior, I'm good. That alligator in that water ain't got to change. I don't need you to change. I know how far to go with you. When that alligator, there's a video out there. When that alligator swam up with his eyeballs above the water and was going to grab that leopard, and snatch that leopard in the water. That alligator did what the alligator always do. He pulled that leopard underwater and he went to get to rolling. He began to roll. But he didn't understand that that leopard knew how to swim up underwater. I'm going to say it again. That leopard had just as much biting power than that alligator. And that alligator, after rolling, realized that that leopard wasn't drowning. That leopard started swimming with that gator up under that water. And that leopard ended up walking out of that water with that gator in his mouth. I'm going to say it again. The gator had the leopard in his mouth in the water. After the rolling of the gator, the leopard ended up walking out of the water with the alligator in his mouth. Baby, when people pull you in their element, they have the intention of drowning you. But they don't know you can swim in the water. TLC say stick to the rivers and the lakes you're used to. I'm used to these waters. And when you went to rolling me, you didn't realize how much bite power I really had. You didn't realize that my magic was real. You didn't realize that it was not a form of godliness. When it came down to the ATR, you realized in the midst of your own element that I can swim. And instead of me being ensnared by you, you become ensnared by me, and now I'm going to eat the good of the land. I'm just trying to give you some wisdom. Don't let them roll you. Don't let them get the upper hand on you with this foolishness. Stop listening to stuff that do not serve you. Stop listening to stuff that are not for your best interest. They're there to confuse you and to distract your mind and your mental faculty. Don't exhaust your mental energies on foolishness. It is not there. Gaze straight up by. It is not there to serve your purpose. And therefore, I don't give a listening ear to people. I got to get on the road. Got to go to Miami. I love you all. Thank you so much for subscribing to me. And those that have not joined my YouTube page, do yourself a favor and go on over there. Go on over there and get you some real truth. Get your wig right over there. Huh, sir? Get your wallet straight over there. It's some good stuff over there if you're looking for the truth. But I realize that everybody ain't looking for the truth. But I'm here to resonate to those that are looking for the truth. My name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated. And trust me, I'm going to be okay. Because I prosper with the truth.